Thank you for joining today's session. We will be getting started shortly. We do have a lot of folks signed up for today's session, and we want to give everyone a moment to log on and get connected so that we can dive into today's session. I do want to thank you all for joining us today. I'm Jasmine Garrett here with the New Jersey Economic Development Authority. Today's session is an informational overview of NJEDA's Small Business Liquor License Program. A quick housekeeping note, we do suspect that many questions will be answered in today's presentation. However, you are able to write in questions at any point during the presentation using Zoom's Q&A feature. It is one of your Zoom command options and will allow us to make sure we are able to get back to you and let others see these questions and answers as well. Today's session is being recorded and will also be posted on our NJEDA and YouTube pages. The slides and other resources will also be available in the next few days. Now to get us started with the presentation, I will shift things over to NJEDA's Assistant Director of Small Business Services, Sean Goway. Thank you.
Thank you, Jasmine. Welcome everyone to today's session. As Jasmine stated, my name is Sean Gogway, Assistant Director of Small Business Services here at the EDA. Today, I will provide a high-level overview of the Small Business Liquor License Program. We will review basic eligibility, required documents, and submission of the application. We do have a lot of information to cover, so as Jasmine said, if there are questions, please enter them into the question answer box and one of our Small Business Services team members will provide an answer. Thank you, and let's get started. For those unfamiliar with the Economic Development Authority's mission, the EDA grows New Jersey's economy and enhances equitable access to opportunities by supporting high-quality job creation, catalyzing investment, and fostering community development. We collaborate with stakeholders to implement a diverse range of programs and initiatives that enhance economic vitality and strengthen New Jersey's long-term economic competitiveness. The Small Business Liquor License Program is yet another program to extend our mission to more New Jersey businesses. What is the Small Business Liquor License Grant Program? The Small Business Liquor License Grant Program is a $10 million pilot under the Main Street suite of products that will provide reimbursement funding to small businesses that have obtained a previously inactive plenary retail consumption license. The program will reimburse eligible New Jersey small businesses 50% up to a maximum of $100,000 of the purchase price of the license. The license must have been purchased within 12 months prior to the application submission date. Again, that's 12 months prior to the application submission date. This program launches October 29th and will support the growth and success of New Jersey small service businesses and stimulate local economy where these licenses were previously dormant. Eligibility, who can apply? The program is open to nonprofit and for-profit entities that meet the SBA's size standards and definition of a small business. Applicants must have been open and operating for at least 12 months prior to application submission date. Applicants must also rent or own and operate from a New Jersey commercial location. Eligible applicants must own a previously inactive New Jersey retail consumption license at the time of application. No other licenses are eligible. The purchase date must be within the 12 months prior to the application date, and applicants must also be in compliance with the New Jersey Division of Alcoholic Beverage Control, ABC, the Act, statutes, and regulations. Compliance will be verified and determined by ABC. Again, this is open for nonprofits and for-profit entities that meet the SBA's definition of a small business, and they must be open and operating for at least 12 months prior to the application submission. Full eligibility criteria is also outlined on our program webpage at the EDA website. Required documents. This is a list of required documents needed to fully submit an application. Ensuring that these documents are included will help us process applications smoothly and efficiently. An applicant checklist is available on our website landing page that applicants can reference to prepare for their submission and gather the documents prior to starting their application. Eligible applicants will be required to provide a valid tax clearance certificate issued by the New Jersey Division of Taxation prior to approval. A copy of the entity's formation document will be required, along with federal tax filings for the 3 most recent consecutive years. If a business has not been in operation for those 3 years, we will take the 2 years or the 1 year that it's been in operation. A New Jersey WR30 or equivalent payroll report for the quarter prior to application is required as well. Applicants must also provide a copy of an executed current lease with a landlord certificate or a copy of the recorded deed. The address on the property documents must align with the address that the applicant operates from. Applicants will also need a copy of the liquor license, a copy of the municipal resolution authorizing the transfer, and a copy of the purchase agreement with proof of payment. Payment documentation can be bank statements, credit card statements, copies of clear checks front and back, or wire transfer confirmation. If applicants have a license that is held by a co-applicant, such as a holding company, these documents will also be required for that entity as well. When you're filling out the application, we'll review this in our next section, but the applicant will be the small owner operated business that is holding and operating the license. Again, we recommend visiting the NJEDA website and downloading the applicant checklist from the liquor license landing page and using to confirm that you have the required documents prior to starting your application. Additional program terms. There are additional program terms that applicants should review and be familiar with prior to submitting their application. Only the purchase cost of the license is eligible. No other fees or costs associated will be eligible for reimbursement consideration. All licenses that are not Class C previously inactive plenary retail consumption licenses are not eligible. Awards are limited to 1 per EIN for the life of the program. Applicants must also agree to the employee wage requirement during the compliance period, which is 120% of minimum wage for all employees for the entire 5-year compliance period. A deed restriction is also required that will restrict the sale or transfer of the property for 5 years. As with other programs, applicants must be in good standing with the EDA and other state assistants, as well as be in substantial good standing with the Department of Labor and the Department of Environmental Protection. Additional program terms continued for the first 5-year compliance period. Applicants may not sell or cease to operate the business. The business must remain in the licensed location that you've been approved under and remain in compliance with the New Jersey ABC. Awardees will need to submit annual compliance documents to the EDA upon request. There is also a $500 non-refundable approval fee due at the time of approval. There is no application fee for this program. Applicants are allowed to receive awards from other Main Street Suite products, such as the Improvement Grant or Lease Grant programs. Please note, landlords and real estate holding entities are not eligible to apply as the applicant. Applicants that have transferred the license between entities with common ownership are also not eligible. Again, we encourage applicants to visit our website to review full eligibility and additional program terms. This will provide a comprehensive understanding of what is required and what is expected. The Small Business Liquor License Grant Sample Application. We'll move on to the next step of the process, which is submitting your application. Please ensure that you follow the guidelines carefully as you submit your application and have all required documentation ready prior to starting your application. We highly encourage applicants to download the applicant checklist, review the documentation required, have that ready as you start. Applicants can access the application portal login page from the EDA webpage for the Small Business Liquor License Program. If this is the first time you're using the portal, you will need to register and confirm your email. If you do not have your login information, please click on the Forgot Password Username button and you'll receive an email to reset your information. This slide is helpful if you attempt to register but already have an active account with this email address. You'll need to send yourself an invitation code so you can access your account. New users, you will need to register your email address. Then you will create a password that contains characters from 3 of the following 4 classes: uppercase, lowercase, number, and non-alphanumeric special characters. Then you will click register. Please be sure to write down and save your username and password, and you could always reach out to our customer care team if you need assistance logging in. After registering your email, you'll be prompted to fill out your profile information. Please make sure that the email address that is listed will be the primary way the EDA contacts your business. This email should be monitored and constantly checked in to make sure you're receiving the information from us. New users, once you confirm your email address, you will click confirm email. The email will be sent to the email address listed. You will follow the instructions within the email, and then you'll fully access the application portal. Again, if you have any issues, please reach out to our customer care team. Once you're fully logged in, you're going to navigate to the Online Application Center. On that page, you will find the Small Business Liquor License. Select that program. It'll take you to the first page, and you're going to hit Create New Application. Just FYI, as your application will be saved every time you click the next button. The first page will take you to the language access. Please provide a yes or no response. If you need assistance with language access, we will notice this on your application and reach out to you accordingly. The primary point of contact is going to be the person that is acting on the behalf of the applicant and will be reaching out and communicating with the program team. Again, the primary point of contact email is the email that we will send all of our correspondences to and should be monitored. Please note any field with a red asterisk is a required field and must be completed. If it is not completed, the application portal will not allow you to advance and you'll receive an error pop-up. So this primary point of contact needs to be whoever's acting on behalf and communicating with the program team. On this page, it's important to note if the primary point of contact is not an authorized individual to sign legally binding documents and is only acting as the liaison between the program staff and businesses, the question should be answered no, and then there will be certifications later on in the application process that will need to be completed by an individual that has that capacity. If you are an authorized individual, like a business owner or CEO, you would answer yes and fill out the application in its entirety as such. Authorized representative. Again, if the primary point of contact is not an authorized representative for the applicant, you'll be asked to fill out the contact information for the authorized representative. This page will only be visible if you answered no on the previous page. If you answered yes, this section will not pop up for you. This will be the information that will be provided for the chief executive officer or the owner or somebody in the equivalent capacity that can sign for the legal binding certifications and grant agreement. Again, this page will only be visible if the individual filling out the application is not in that capacity. Consultant information. While it's not required, some applicants may choose to utilize consultants for support on a grant application. If you are, then you would fill out this information as the consultant. The next page that will pop up will be legal counsel. Legal counsel designation is not mandatory, but if it is helpful for your application, you can indicate who your legal counsel is on this section. Accountant information, the same as with the legal contact information. Your accountant designation is not mandatory, but if it is helpful for your application, please indicate their information in this section. Media contact. If the primary point of contact is not authorized to speak to the media on behalf of the applicant, you'll be asked to fill out this section as well. And finally, the applicant organization information. So in this section, we're collecting information about the registered business that is applying for the grant program. The registered business should be the business that is open and operating at the location under the license. It should be the small business that is there and utilizing the license. On this page, we'll request the applicant organization information to be the legal registered business name, the entity type, if it's a limited liability company or sole proprietorship, the date of the established entity, along with the formation documents, the federal tax EIN, the NAICS code, and a short organizational description, along with uploading the tax clearance. Again, the applicant, when you fill out this section, should be the small business that is operating from this location. This section, if the applicant organization or any other related entities have previously received EDA assistance, details of that funding is required. Certification of the applicant is that is not in default in any other programs is also required here. And if any of the applicants happen to be religiously affiliated, they would complete this additional information. If they are not, you would mark no and move on to the next section. In this section, we're going to obtain additional details about the applicant, which is the applying business that is open and operating at this location. This will be the details of the business entity. Since the entity is the application, please complete each required section and upload each of the documents that is asked for. In this section, it will be required to upload the executed lease or the recorded deed. You'll need to provide information for payroll that will be provided on that W-230 or the payroll summary that you've collected prior to starting your application. You will also need to upload a copy of that information and enter information from your federal tax filings. On the next section, you're going to also start the business location. You're going to create the business location. This should be the address of the small business that is open and operating under the license, and it should align with the property documentation that you have. They will ask you information regarding the business location. You will need to confirm that this is the location where the license is used. Again, every field that has a red asterisk is required and mandatory, and it will not allow you to proceed in the application unless it is completed. You will then, if you're leasing the property, You will then have to upload a copy of the landlord certificate. Applicant details continued. You will have to answer questions regarding being in good standing with the Department of Labor, good standing with the EDA, and with the Department of Environmental Protection, and in compliance with the New Jersey Division of ABC. Now we'll get to the license information. This section is going to request if you are possessing the eligible license type, which is the Class C plenary retail consumption license. Again, any license that is not that is ineligible and should not fill out an application. We'll also ask questions regarding if there was a transfer between entities with common ownership. If there was, this application would not be eligible. You'll have to enter the entity that owns and possesses the previously inactive plenary consumption liquor license as well. You will also need to provide the license number and the purchase date. You will have to upload the license information, the purchase agreement, and a copy of the municipal resolution, as well as a copy of the license in this section. In this section, if the small business does not hold the license and it's being held by a holding company, this is where you would answer yes, and the holding company becomes the co-applicant. Again, a reminder, the applicant should be the small business that is open and operating in the location. Your co-applicant, if they're holding the license, will be entered in the next section. And you would enter, yes, there's a holding company, and then new pages will follow. Entity information. This is going to be information that you're going to answer regarding the applicant, the small business. The next section is going to outline ownership. It's important that we list every owner for the applicant business. It should total up to 100%. It could be an individual owner. It could be an entity as an owner as well. As you go through, you're just going to add the owner and then complete the information and click Save. Ownership percentage will need to be outlined, the ownership type, and their information. Again, this should all add up to 100%. Now, if you've chosen that you have a holding company that is holding your license, this next section for the co-applicant will pop up. This now will be information regarding the holding company, not the applicant. The holding company will become the co-applicant and will fill out all the information and have all that documentation that you've received earlier prior to submitting your starting your application ready to be filled out for this co-applicant. You will enter all of the organization name. If there's a DBA, you'll have to upload all the documentation just as you did with your applicant. The next section will still be the co-applicant's information, their address, their formation documents will need to be uploaded, their EIN as well, their organization website, their tax ID, and their phone number. Again, this is all for the co-applicant, the holding company that is holding the license. You will continue to fill out the application, these sections for the co-applicant. Co-applicants will also need to provide a valid tax clearance certificate, and they will need to upload in this section. We'll continue with the organization details, the number of WR30 employees, W2 employees at the location, how many part-time, and upload that payroll summary or the WR30. You will also need to upload taxes for the holding company as well. Once that section is completed for the holding company, who is the co-applicant, the cannabis questionnaire will come up. This section must be completed as well. Please note, New Jersey state law prohibits certain cannabis licensees and certified personal use cannabis handlers, employers from receiving or continuing to receive most financial incentives from the EDA. This next section will be diversity, equity, inclusion. We would like more information about the diversity of your organization. Answers have no impact on eligibility for assistance, and providing information is optional. You can always complete, prefer not to answer. Applicant representation. In the beginning, if an applicant has marked the box, the section where it says that they are not an authorized individual to enter into signing legally binding certifications or the grant agreement, this section will pop up. And this is where the applicant will download the certifications and have the person in the capacity complete them. If you are an authorized representative, those sections won't pop up for you and you will continue. The application will give you the opportunity to download those certifications so that the appropriate person in the correct capacity can fill them out and sign. In these sections, each section will ask you to upload the specific certification that it is requesting. Again, this page will only be visible if the individual filling out the application is an authorized representative. If they're not, the downloaded legal questionnaire will need to be uploaded in a future section. These are all specific legal questionnaires regarding past proceedings of an applicant. It is essential that applicants take their time reading this section carefully while keeping in mind the corresponding look-back periods for civil, criminal, environmental, and other legal matters. The next certification for non-involvement in prohibited activities in Russia or Belarus will also pop up. If you're an authorized point of contact, you will complete this. If you're not, you will have to provide the completed form and upload it. Same with the application certifications. If you're an authorized representative, you would complete this form as it pops up. If it's not, if you're a non-authorized user, you will have to complete the certification form and upload that. Program-specific certifications, this is the same. If you're an authorized point of representative, you will complete this. If you're not, you will have to upload the program-specific certification. This applies to the program-specific acknowledgements as well. And then finally, we'll get to the electronic signature. You will hit Submit Application. Do not submit the application unless you're ready to do so. You may not be able to edit the application once you hit the Submit button. You'll need to complete the electronic signature, agree to be bound by the electronic signatures, and that you're authorized signer. Once you're ready and you've confirmed everything's been uploaded and everything is saved, you can hit Submit. You will get a submission confirmation page. Your application is not fully submitted unless you receive this page and an email from the system that confirms that your application has been fully submitted. Again, that email will go to the primary point of contact email provided in the beginning of the application. That will be the email that you'll receive all of your communications from the system along with the program staff. Once you've successfully submitted your application, program staff will receive it and they will reach out to you with any questions or clarifications. Again, we highly recommend that you visit the NJEDA landing page for the Small Business Liquor License Grant Program, download the applicant checklist, review all eligibility, and confirm that you have all the required documents before starting your application. Applicants will be the small business that operates from the location, and the co-applicant would be the holding company that holds the license if another entity does hold the license. Again, if you have any questions, please visit our landing page or reach out to our customer care team. At this time, I've concluded all of the presentation. A reminder that this is recorded and will be provided on our landing page for future reference, along with other documentation, frequently asked questions, and all the rules and eligibility for the program. Thank you so much for attending today's information session.